Hey, what's up guys? Hope everyone's having a great day today. My name is Abdullah Bandaji from Pushing Pistons, and today we're going to be talking about 10 steps, 10 steps for buying a used car in 2020. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already subscribed, I'd really appreciate you subscribe. I do a lot of videos on car reviews and, in this case, car purchasing decisions, and we'll be doing more of that going into the future. So these 10 steps are just my tips for what I've found have best prepared me and my friends, people I've given advice to buy cars when they go out to do so. To relieve that stress just a little bit for when you're actually going to make this pretty important purchasing decision. Hopefully you end up finding these tips helpful and ultimately end up saving yourself some money and peace of mind in the process. Okay, step number 1, budgeting. So the big rule of thumb that's going around from the financial advisors and experts is you shouldn't spend more than 15% of your income on car-related expenses. So let's say, for example, you're making $3,000 a month in take-home pay, not before you pay taxes, after you pay taxes. 15% of that, so $450, is what you should be spending maximum on a car. Now, this is going to be including your insurance, your actual car monthly payment, your registration. So keep those things in mind. Step number 2 is going to be actually researching the car you're looking for. So I recommend going on cars.com, Car Gurus, Auto Trader, typing in the make and model of your car that you're looking for and seeing what the prices are going for. Car Gurus does a pretty cool thing where they'll actually show you like what's a really good deal compared to market values and what's not. So that's pretty cool to check out. And also learn about your car's specific make and model, the trims, the options it has, and some other features that you should be aware of when buying the car. I recommend going to YouTube, check out car reviews. I do car reviews as well on certain vehicles. So if there is any car you do have any questions about, leave that down in the comments description below. I'll make sure to respond to you. Step number 3 is going to be actually researching your current car's value. So if you currently have a car, this is going to apply to you. If not, you go on to this time right here for step number 4. But for people who have a car and are looking to trade it in or sell it, actually go to KBB, TrueCar, type in your make and model, your mileage. Be realistic about the condition of your car because that significantly can impact the price. So if it is pretty well beaten up, put fair, put that accordingly. And that price, when you ever go to a dealership, have that printed out so that if they say they honor KBB trade-in values, you have that with you. So step number 4 is going to be getting pre-approved. So if you're financing a car in this case, go and actually get pre-approved. If you're not, skip over to step 5 because I'm going to go into details on all that good stuff. Okay, so in terms of actually financing the car and why you should do that, I'm going to do a whole separate video on whether you should finance, lease, or buy. That's not the purpose of this video. This is just if you're going to finance a car, what you should do. So you should go to your credit union, the bank, and actually get pre-approved with an interest rate. The interest rates from banks are typically lower than at the dealership. Now, if you do get pre-approved, which you should, and you actually bring your pre-approval letter with your rate, the amount you're approved for, and bring that to a dealership, that's actually a good negotiating point. If they could beat the rate by a couple points, sure, go with them. If not, you have your rate locked in, which is great. Step number 5 is prepare. So actually, when you're now shopping, you're gonna have your documents for your pre-approval letter, your trade-in value, the car you're looking for. Have those documents ready. Your insurance as well is something you should have prepared. Get a quote from your insurance company and bring that quote with you just so you have on record so you know how this is going to fit within your monthly budget. If you are trading in your car in this case, I really recommend cleaning the car and make sure any small things, small damages here and there, if you can fix them, fix them. I'll be doing a separate video on what things to really look out for when trading your car. Stay tuned for that. It'll be linked in the description below when it's out. So now that you're prepared, you have the knowledge, you know everything about your car, you know how much you could afford, you know how much you're approved for, you know your rate. Now it's actually time to start calling dealerships in your area that have the car. So on Auto Trader, on all those websites, give them a call. A lot of the times they will not remove their stock and they might not have the car it could have just sold. So before even spending the time to take a trip to the dealership, you should actually call and talk to them. Say, hey, is this car available? Is it actually just trim? Make sure that the description they have is actually accurate. So there is a lot of information on those descriptions in those cars that they kind of just copy paste or templates. So just make sure that stuff's actually right. You don't want to go to a dealership, go see a car and be like, wait, this doesn't have the navigation, for example. That's going to be a big waste of time. While you're on the phone with them, ask them, hey, look, if I'm coming to buy a car today, what's the best price you can give me? Start the negotiating, but as we're gonna get into later, just talk about the price of the car. So I'll talk a little bit more about why that's important later on, but that's a good time to bring it up. Step 7, when you're visiting the car dealership, is to actually have a mechanic there with you, whether you're a local mechanic or someone that is recommended, or find someone on Yelp, to actually do a PPI, a pre-purchase inspection. Now that's super important just because the dealership can say we have a warranty for X amount of months, X amount of miles, but ultimately your mechanic is the best advocate for telling you the actual condition of this car. Now, if you're mechanically savvy and understand how a car works and have really read on the forums and really, done your research and your due diligence like we mentioned earlier, then sure, you could do the inspection yourself. But if not, I highly recommend paying a mechanic to do a pre-purchase inspection. It's a small amount of pay for a larger headache later on that could be hidden in your car. Step 8, go on a test drive. Now, this is super important. It's by far my favorite part of car shopping, is actually driving the car. Now, don't be shy. Ask them what their test drive route is. It's usually pretty short. Ask them if you can take it on the freeway. If it's a big part of your commute, that's something that they should honor. And on top of that, if you do the route, ask them, hey, can I do this one more time just so that now I'm familiar with the route, I can actually pay attention to the car. I recommend this just because when you're learning the street and they're telling you to turn left, right, and talking to you, you can get very distracted and not pay attention to the important things that are happening with the car, like the throttle response, the transmission's behavior, the infotainment, where everything is, visibility. You're too preoccupied in a sense with, oh, turn right here, oh no, go in this lane, or oh, did you know this car had this feature? Focus on that second round and really try to take in the car's experience and what it has to offer. So now let's say you found the car and we're going on to step number 10, which is negotiating with the salesperson. Now, every salesperson is going to say, what's your budget? They're usually be talking to your monthly budget, how much you can afford. Now, the one thing to stay away from is talking about that monthly number. You should stick to what is the list price of this car? What are you actually going to be paying for the car? And what is it going to be valued at? When you go to finance, trade-in, buy out, cash, all right. To the salesperson, it's not going to make a difference to him just because he's not the one providing you the finances. He's not the one leasing the car. That's all done with the finance manager. And we'll get to that later. But for all intents and purposes, you're going to be talking about what it currently, let's say, sits at MSRP, or the valued price, and our best price. Talk about that. And if you have your budgeting set up right, you know what you're pre-approved for, you know what that number should be. And if they can meet it, you move forward. If not, respectfully, decline and then move on. There's going to be other cars in your area. Now, another tip when negotiating is do not show them you're emotionally attached to this car. Emotions sell. They know that if you're emotionally attached to this car, you're going in and they're going to close you on a deal. So that's something to keep in mind for when going to dealerships. These salespeople, they're very skilled, they're highly trained, and they know how to make the most out of a deal. I'd actually love to hear your guys' comments down below. Let me know what tips you guys have in terms of negotiating with dealerships. I want to see what have worked, what has and hasn't worked for you guys in the past, so that other people can benefit from as well, because this is just my experience. So going on to step 10, now that you have your car, you've gotten the price that you wanted, and you're actually going to talk about the finances, all the registration, all that good stuff. This is when you bring up your trade-in, not when you're talking to the sales manager. I didn't bring it up there on purpose. This is when you say, look, at this price, I'm willing to trade in my car. This is KBB. Will you honor it? That's something you interact with the finance guy. Once all that stuff's cleared up, you can move on to what he's going to be doing is, as the second best salesperson in the office, actually upselling you on a warranty, a auto theft protection, protecting your rims and your windshield. Now, there are cars where I'll recommend getting an extended warranty on, and I'll get into that in a separate video because there are exceptions, I'll say. But typically, you will not want to have these insurances or these warranties. The reason is, a lot of times people buy this stuff, they don't keep track of it, they don't know what the coverage is, and it just gets lost in that big folder they give you when you go out with the car off the lot. So if you are going to be buying this stuff, I highly recommend you actually know exactly what your coverages are, because these are third-party insurances. You're not going to go to the dealership when your rims get messed up on rim rash, because that's ugly, or your windshield gets cracked. You're going to be talking to that third-party insurance. So if you are, make sure to put those dates of coverage in your calendar. know what the limitations are, talk to that company specifically, and then you'll have that knowledge. Because if you can utilize it, great. If not, it is not going to be worth your money. So those are pretty much the 10 steps and my tips on what you should be doing before buying a used car. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If these tips were helpful, if they worked for you, what hasn't. I'd love to hear your guys' comments down below, so let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys if you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.